Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. This video is going to be very entertaining. We are still talking about the outstanding ignorance that J. Smith and his team are spewing on the topic of the preservation of the Quran. In this video, inshallah, we'll be talking about this. This is a picture of the 26 different Arabic Qur'ans, which were hidden by Muslim scholars for centuries and were finally discovered by the legendary Hatun Tash.
It all has to do with one girl who's about 5'2" named Hatun. Hatun is the one that blew this all open. You have to give her complete credit for this. And this is why Hatun Tash, you got to give her credit. She's found something back in 2014 that no one else bothered to look at.
And for those who don't know or don't remember who this genius lady is, this might be memory refreshing.
They want to know what people write from the original language. And even though our earliest complete New Testament is from 325.
Yup, I'm sure everyone now recognize her. Of course, this topic is going to be very lengthy, so I will divide this video into several parts. And this first part is going to be a good illustration of chapter 62 verse 5 of the Quran.
مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين.
Let's now begin the story of the legendary Hatun Tash. And if you're a supporter of this lady, I suggest you stop watching and get back to your bubble, because this video is going to make you cringe. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Then in 2013 and 2014, one of my colleagues, Hatun Tash. Have I ever talked about Hatun Tash? I think I did last year. She needed to get an Arab Quran. And so she went to the local bookstore and she said, could you please sell me an Arab Quran? They said, which one? She said, what do you mean, which one? She said, which Arabic Quran do you want? She said, well, there's only one Arabic Quran. The Hafs. They said, no. We have the Warsh here, we have the Qalun here, we have the al-Dudi here. She says, what? There is more than one? So she bought them all and brought them back to London. She came up with 26 of them. Hatun and I decided to take these 26 Qurans. She was finding these Qurans in Morocco. She found them in Jordan. She found them in Yemen. She started asking people, whenever you're in these cities, go to the store. I need to get al-Dudi. I need to get Qalun. I need to get Khalaf. Could you please get for me Kasai? Could you please get for me Ibn Amir? Could you please get me for Ibn Amar? Now these names mean nothing to you, but there are 30 of these Qurans, 30, not one, not two, 30 official Qurans today. And we have 26 of them. Look what happened when we put this up. Go ahead and run the video, Abby.
There is only one Quran, right? And that every Quran in the world is the same. That's what you've been told. You have been told a lie. Okay, so there are two Qurans today, right? Two.
More than two Qurans.
More than two? Three Qurans? More than three? Four Qurans?
There are approximately 26 of the Qurans.
26 different Qurans. And by the time 2015 rolled around, 2016, she had 26 of these different Qurans. We introduced in 2016, when I was there at Speaker's Corner with Hatun. Hatun and I, at that time, Hatun only had 26 of these Qurans.
Only.
And Hatun, you have what, 37 already in your possession?
Yeah, I've got 37.
So she's got another 70 beyond that. City of Qurans. We're up to 37 that we have collected, or I should say that Hatun has collected, and brought them to London, and that's why she's up to 37 now. I have 26 there, and then in this one here, these are 34. This is the last picture I took with her. These are 34. Oh, got it upside down. These are 34 that she has now. I've just been told she's up 3 more, so she's up to 37 of these different Qira'at, these different ahruf, which now I think Hatun has about 37 that she has collected, 37 different Arabic Qurans. At that time we only had 26, but in
when Hatun Tash, who went around and collected all these Qur'ans from many different countries, we held them up at Speaker's Corner. We had held 26 of them up.
In 2016, so we're talking about 4 years ago, she had only 26 Qur'ans. She is up to 37 now.
But I want to show you Hatun Tash's 26. These are the 26 she had back in 2016 when we introduced them. These are the 26 we introduced to the world. Now take a look at them. I'm going to put them up one at a time. So there you can see Al-Susi. There you can see Abi Jafar. You can see Yaqub over there. Here you can see Duri Ibn Amr al-Basra from this family of Kasai, Ibn Amr. There you can see Khalaf al-Ashar from the Al-Durai way. You can see there Al-Layth Ibn Khalid. There's Warsh, one of the Warshes, Al-Zaraq way. Over here is another Warsh from Al-Asbahani way. And then we get Ibn Jamaz, followed by Duri, Ibn Amr, Al-Ala. And then you have the Khalaf, the Al-Shatabaya way. Underneath that you have Al-Kasai. Al-Kasai, who is one of the readers. And over here you have Shoba, who is one of the transmitters. Over here you have Al-Imam Abd-Allah ibn Al-Kathir al-Makr from Bazi, and over then on this side Hisham ibn Amr al-Bazi, again Khalaf over here, and then Shoba from Ibn Abi, Al-Iman ibn Amir al-Damask from Damascus, and Khalun al-Shamiyya ibn Kathir, he is one of the readers. Warish again, Rao, another transmitter, Shoba, and finally Kalun, one of the transmitters. So those are the 26 that Hatun Tash has in her library. These are the 26 we held up at Speaker's Corner and caused such a few.
As you know, I don't have a scintilla of trust in anything these Christian polemicists say. So I have to fact check them each time they make a claim. Let's start looking into these books one by one. Let's begin with number 5. Jay and Hatun called this Ibn Amr Quran, which is wrong. This is actually Hafs from Asim. As you can see, there are two titles to this Mus'haf. On top, it is written Riwayat Hafs and Asim. In the title at the bottom, it is written the reading of Ibn Amr is on the margin. So this is actually Hafs and Asim. Ibn Amr is just on the margins. Now remember, whenever we say Ibn Amr reading, we are talking about the reading that was transmitted by his two students, Hisham and Ibn Dakawan. So whenever you read Ibn Amr on any Mus'haf, it is actually Hisham and Ibn Dakawan. You can never have an Ibn Amr reading which is not transmitted by Hisham or by Ibn Dakawan. So on the pages of the Quran you have the riwayah of Hafs. You will find the variants of Ibn Amr on the margin. Sometimes you will find the name Hisham attributed to the variant, and sometimes you will find the name Ibn Dakawan. And when Ibn Dakawan and Hisham both agree with each other, you will find both Hisham and Ibn Dakawan. Now let's, for argument's sake, agree with Jay that this is Ibn Amr reading, which means it is Hisham and Ibn Dakawan. Okay, let's carry on. According to Jay and Hatun, this is Hisham ibn Ammar, which is true. It is, as the title says, the riwayah of Hisham. But on the margin, we have also the riwayah of Ibn Dakawan. So this Mus'haf is actually the riwayah of Hisham, and on the margin, Ibn Dakawan. And as we said earlier, whenever you have Hisham and Ibn Dakawan, it means you have the reading of Ibn Amr. Let's go to the next one. This is number 20. Jay called this Ibn Amr reading. And again, it's true. This is Ibn Amr reading. But it is also written that this is the riwayah of Hisham. And on the margin, we have the riwayah of Ibn Dakawan. So again, the same thing. This is Ibn Amr reading, transmitted by his students Hisham and Ibn Dakawan. In other words, number 5, number 16, and number 20 are all the same thing. Ibn Amr, which is Hisham plus Ibn Dakawan. They are not three different Qur'ans. Just because the color of the cover is different doesn't make them different Qur'ans. Let's move to the next one. Jay and Hatun call this the Qira'ah of Yaqub, which is again wrong. This is the same problem. This is Hafs and Asim. Yaqub is on the margin. You can read the top title up there. It says Hafs, Riwayah Hafs. And the title at the bottom says again, the reading of Yaqub is on the margin. But never mind, we will assume for argument's sake that this is Yaqub. When we say Yaqub, we are referring to his reading, which was transmitted by his two students, Ruwais and Rawh. So if you have Ruwais and Rawh, that means this is the reading of Yaqub. And when we check inside the pages of this Mus'haf, you can see that Rawh and Ruwais do exist on the margin. Sometimes you'll find Rawh, sometimes you'll find Ruwais, and when they both agree, you'll have both Rawh and Ruwais. Let's go to the next one. Number 24. Jay called this Rawh, but the title says this is the riwayah of Rawh, and on the margin we have the riwayah of Ruwais. Both are from Yaqub. And when we have both Ruwais and Rawh, it means we have the reading of Yaqub. So this is again nothing more than Yaqub with his two transmitters, Ruwais and Rawh, which means again these two are the same thing. Number 3 and number 24 are the same. They are not two different Qur'ans. They are the reading of Yaqub, which includes the transmission of Ruwais and the transmission of Rawh. This mistake happens because both Jay and Hatun and their teams are a bunch of ignorant people, and they didn't even open the Mus'haf they are carrying in their hand. If they opened these Masahifs and looked into it, they would realize that this is Hafs, and on the margin we have Ruwais and Rawh, while this one is Ruwais and Rawh. Let's move to number 2. The same mistake repeated. Jay and Hatun call this Abu Ja'far reading. This is Hafs and Asim. Abu Ja'far is again on the margin. Now to clarify, whenever we say Abu Ja'far, we are referring to either Ibn Jammaz or Ibn Wardan or both of them. Let's get going. This is number 10, and Jay, this time he picked the top title, which is Ibn Jammaz. But remember, at the bottom we have a title which says Ibn Wardan Riwayah is on the margin, which means that this Mus'haf number 10 is nothing more than Ibn Jammaz plus Ibn Wardan. So again, number 10 and number 2 are both Ibn Jammaz plus Ibn Wardan. Both are Abu Ja'far. They are not two different Qur'ans. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Let's go to the next one. This is number 22. Again, the same mistake. Jay and Hatun call this Ibn Kathir. And this is not Ibn Kathir, this is Hafs and Asim. You can read the top title there. It's Hafs and Asim. And at the bottom, it's written, Ibn Kathir reading on the margin. And to make it clear again, when we say Ibn Kathir, we are talking about his two transmitters, Bazi and Qumbul. You can never have the reading of Ibn Kathir without having either al-Bazi or Qumbul or both. So let's assume for argument's sake that this is not Hafs and Asim and this is the reading of Ibn Kathir. Let's go to the next one. Number 17. Jay and Hatun call this Bazi, which is true. The top title say this is the riwayah of al-Bazi, but we have at the bottom, we have the title at the bottom. It says Qumbul riwayah is on the margin. So in reality, this is also Ibn Kathir because it includes Bazi and Qumbul, and we have already said that whenever we say Ibn Kathir reading, we are talking about either Bazi or Qumbul or both of them. and this book includes both of them. What is really interesting is that in this mushaf they used the top title. As you can see, top title says Riwayat Bazi, but in the previous mushafs, whenever we have Hafs and Asim, they would use the title at the bottom. Ignorance or deception or both of them. Anyways, let's go to the next one. This is number 15, and the title says The Reading of Ibn Kathir. Shatibiya way. The Reading of Ibn Kathir. Riwaya Qumbul, and al-Bazi is on the margin. So in the previous one it was the riwayah of Bazi and Qumbul is on the margin. In this one it is the riwayah of Qumbul and al-Bazi is on the margin. In both cases it is the same Ibn Kathir reading, because we cannot have Ibn Kathir unless we have the transmission of his students, Bazi and Qumbul. If someone says to you, I have a mushaf of Ibn Kathir, which is neither al-Bazi or Qumbul, you can look him in the eye and say, you are a liar. So again, number 22, number 17, and number 15 are not three different Qur'ans. They are the same thing. It's just that you can't read and you can't understand, and you've never opened these mushafs. You just kept them in the shelves and took pictures of them and took them to Speaker's Corner. Let's go to the next one. This is number 1. They call this a Susi. Now they ignore the title at the top and they go for the title at the bottom. You see, the title at the top says this is Hafs. The title at the bottom says Susi is on the margin. Now what is Susi? Susi is one of the transmitter of Abu Amr al-Basri. Let's go to the next one. So this is number 4. Jay and Hatun call this is very interesting, they call this Ad-Duri Abu Amr al-Ala Abu Amr al-Basri in brackets al-Kisai. I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. There is a confusion here because Ad-Duri is a transmitter and he transmitted the reading of al-Kisai and the reading of Abu Amr. This mushaf is Ad-Duri from Abu Amr. There was no need to mention al-Kisai because this mushaf has nothing to do with Kisai. But it's the ignorance that keeps showing again and again. This is Hafs and Asim, and on the margin we have Ad-Duri. Okay, so the previous one was Hafs and Asim, and on the margin we have a Susi, and this one is Hafs and Asim, and on the margin we have Ad-Duri. So both As-Susi and Ad-Duri will give us the reading of Abu Amr. Next one is number 11. Jay called this Ad-Duri. This time Jay will pick the title at the top, which says this is the riwayah of Ad-Duri. But we have another title at the bottom which says the riwayah of Susi is on the margin. So this one is both Susi and Duri, which means 1 Susi and 4 Duri both give us 11, which is both Duri and Susi. That is the reading of Abu Amr. Now someone might ask, is there a difference between Duri and Susi? Yes, there are variants between Susi and Duri, but these variants are minor and they are not even related to different words at all. It's all about different accents. I'm talking about Duri and Susi. There are pronunciational differences between the two. These are the main differences between Susi and Duri. Not a single word there has any change in meaning at all. Of course, there are many other variants between Duri and Susi, but these variants do not change the meaning of the words. They are the same, but just how you pronounce the word. Very, very minor differences. To call them different Qur'ans is beyond ridiculous. All these three are the same. They are not different Qur'ans. Next one is this. This is number 7. Jay and Hatun call this al-Layth. and the title says Riwayat al-Layth ibn Khalid, and on the margin the riwayah of Duri from Kisai. So this mushaf is actually al-Kisai, because al-Kisai is both al-Layth and ad-Duri, and this mushaf includes al-Layth and includes ad-Duri. Next one, number 13. Number 13 is, as the title says, the reading of Kisai from Shatibiyah, a riwayah of Abi al-Harith, and on the margin we have ad-Duri. So this one is al-Kisai and his two students, Abi al-Harith and ad-Duri. I think there's a bit of a problem here. If you remember, I told you that each reader will have two transmitters. But in this one, it looks like we have more than two transmitters. We have ad-Duri, Abi al-Harith, and al-Layth. It seems like J. Smith and Hatun are right on this, because as you see, we have different transmitters, al-Layth and Abi al-Harith, right? Well, no, wrong again, because al-Layth and Abi al-Harith are the same person. Yes, al-Layth and Abi al-Harith are the same person. Let's go and check inside the Mus'haf, number 7. We'll find in this page a description of the Mus'haf, and in this description it says this Mus'haf was written by al-Layth ibn Abi al-Harith. So sorry about that. These two Mus'hafs are the same thing. Both are al-Kisai with his two transmitters, Abi al-Harith and ad-Duri. But hold on a minute. I can see that on number 13 it is written a Shatibiyah way. On number 7, on the other hand, there is no such word. So maybe this is the difference. 13 is al-Kisai, Shatibiyah. 7 is just al-Kisai, no Shatibiyah. Right? Well, sorry, wrong again. Because if we looked inside the Mus'haf, we will find this. Here it says that this Mus'haf is written according to Shatibiyah way. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to find at least one correct thing that you have said. Let's go to the next one. Now we'll go to number 18. So this is the reading of Hamza. The transmitter is Khalaf. At the bottom it says Riwayat Khalad on the margin. Khalad is the other transmitter of Hamza. So this one is both Khalaf and Khalad, which means this is Hamza, the reading of Hamza. Let's go to the next one. Number 12. Number 12 is Riwayat Khalaf from Hamza, Shatibiyah way. So this is Khalaf from Hamza. The previous one was both Khalaf and Khalad. So both number 12 and number 18 are the reading of Hamza. The difference is number 12 only include Khalaf, while number 18 include both Khalaf and Khalad. And Hamza reading is both Khalaf and Khalad. Now the question is there any difference in words, in meanings between Khalaf, the riwayah of Khalaf, and the riwayah of Khalad? And the answer is no. These are the main differences between Khalaf and Khalad. Not a single one of them changes the meaning of the word. Not a single one. So we conclude that number 18 and number 12 again are the same thing. There is no difference. Now we will go to number 26 and number 21 directly. Both of these mushafs are called Qalun by J. Smith, and this is right. They are Qalun. This is Qalun. Number 21 is Qalun. Number 26 is Qalun. The question is, what is the difference between these two? Did they show you any difference between these two? It's been 4 years now since they held them up at Speaker's Corner in 2016. And so far they have not yet told us what is the difference between this Qalun and the other Qalun. What's the difference other than the color of the cover? Let's go to the next one. Number 23, number 9, number 8, all are Warsh. Now, to make it clear, there is a difference between Warsh from al-Azraq way and Warsh from al-Asbahani way. Huge pronunciational differences between both of them. But my question is, what is the difference between words? I want to see words that are different from this warsh and this warsh. You just showed me 3 different Qur'ans and you didn't even explain what is the difference between Asbahani, what's the difference between Al-Azraq. I have a right, your followers have a right to know what are the differences. Why didn't you show them? What have you been doing all these years? You found about them 4 years ago. You just held them up and said, oh, I have, 3 different warsh. What's the difference other than the color of the cover? Well, this is Azraq, this is Asbahani. Okay, so what's the difference between Azraq and Asbahani? No answer. Also, number 23, it's not mentioned whether this is Asbahani or Azraq. So why is it there? It could be any one of them, right? I mean, why is it there? So I don't understand. Some imbeciles think that the only thing they need to do in order to prove variance in the Quran is to show some, different colorful Qurans. That way you'll prove that there are many versions of the Quran and that the Quran is not preserved. So this is Warsh, and we have seen Qalun. Now we are going to see both Qalun and Warsh. And I would like to ask them again to show me the difference between Warsh and Qalun. What's the difference? I have the main differences between Warsh and Qalun. I'm gonna show it to you. These are the ones. Okay? These are the differences between Warsh and Qalun. None of them changes the meaning. None of them. Not a single one of them changes the meaning. There's only the 5th one from top, which is La Ta'du. In this case, the difference is absolutely minor. And in this context, it does not change the meaning at all. It gives the same meaning. So this is the only difference between what you call different versions of Quran. Between these 5, there's only a difference of 1 word. The next one is this, number 25. Again, the same problem. They call this Shu'bah, while this is Hafs and Asim. Shu'bah is on the margin, but we will accept it for argument's sake. This is Shu'bah. But if this is Shu'bah, then what is the difference between this one and the other 2, number 14 and number 19? Both of them are Shu'bah. All the 3 are Shu'bah. So what is the difference? Just because on number 14 it's written Shatibiyah, for example? No, that's wrong. All of them are Shatibiyah. In some cases, it is mentioned on the cover that this is Shatibiyah, and in other cases, it is mentioned in the last pages of the Mus'haf, as we have seen in the previous examples. And that's it, brothers and sisters. We come to the end of this. It's been very interesting, and we have seen a lot of I don't know how to describe it. I can't believe that people who are treated as experts on Islam, on the Quran, can get all these mistakes. I'm sure many of the followers of J. Smith and Hatun would be completely frustrated when they see this. I mean, you cannot even get one thing correct. And once more, I would like to address the followers of J. Smith. Please, you are better than this. You are much better and you are more intelligent than this. I'm sure many of you have used this argument of the 26 different Qur'ans and now 37 different Qur'ans. You've seen it now yourself. Please have some respect for your mind, for your brain. Your brain is a gift from God. Use it in a positive way. Don't just accept anything without fact-checking. And I have got to tell you, sometimes people think that I need to do a lot of efforts to find these things and to expose the lies of J. Smith and Hatun. I don't need that. All I'm doing is fact-checking them. I just take the claim and I go and fact-check it, and I find that they are not telling the truth. You can do this as well. Every single one of you can do this. My suggestion and my advice is, do not take anything blindly. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi